Recordings in progress. You know what that means, folks. You're
It's
back
official.
again with your internet friends. I had opinions of stupid.
Woo!
Woohoo! I don't know what's going on here. I think I flipped the thing.
We enjoy this more than everybody else, but that's the whole point. We just enjoyed it.
But at least people are watching. I put one up last night, and 7 people watched it. So, you know,
It's exploding, people. It's becoming a phenomenon. Is what that is. Shockwaves reverberating.
Actually, I put 2 up. For some reason, it's telling me that 1 isn't. Although it got a like. I don't know what's going on here. This is stupid.
Because it's too much. It's too much information for the system to process.
And that's the thing. People are watching this, so I'm kind of excited. Like I have 10 views.
We're denting. We're putting a dent.
For the week of the 15th. 19 views for the week of the 4th. Looking at the numbers, kids. Just saying.
Joe Rogan numbers. Joe Rogan numbers.
Likes, not a whole lot, but we got some views. And that's what's important. Who needs to be liked as long as somebody is watching you? Look at Donald Trump. You want to talk about the Lakers, man?
The question everybody's asking, is LeBron done?
With the Lakers or in general?
Just in general. Do you think this is the beginning of the end for LeBron? And I'll give you my 2 bits,
actually, no. I don't think it's the beginning of the end for LeBron. I think that LeBron.
Remember, this is his 16th season, I think. So
yeah, but Magic played until he was 45 or some shit, right? And LeBron started when he was 19, right? Right. And Shaq too. Shaq played when he was went from the army directly to basketball, and he was in his early 20s. Right. I don't know, man. I kind of feel like you got a point. There's does LeBron need to fucking... That's a better question. Does he need to fucking play basketball anymore?
He
said today that... Now, right? I mean,
he said today, don't count him out. So, obviously, he still has the drive for the game. So, you know.
He's still a young guy. He could play another 5 years, 6 years, you know?
And what people don't realize... Remember,
Magic and Bird were fucking in wheelchairs playing basketball. They were murder balling it out there. And guys...
I mean, they were different in the sense that they were more shooters and
yeah, they're shooters. They don't run, but LeBron's all over the court. I get it. Look, I think people should play until. Well, I got another question for you, but I think people should play until they can't play anymore. If they can't fucking get down the court, if they can't hit those three pointers, if they can't get in and rebound, then don't fucking play. You're done enough. Open up a car dealership or some shit. Just take it easy. There's no need.
You play to win the game. Remember that one? You play to win the game.
so there's that. How we doing on baseball?
So, but before we move to baseball, on LeBron and the league in general, they had a limited time off. Remember, they went right into the COVID lockdown world where they won the championship, and then they started playing 2 months later. They didn't really have a regular, off season. Right. So there is some truth to being creatures of habit, where athletes are creatures of habit, where they have a certain kind of procedure, like they go away on vacation with family. So a lot of things had to change just to fit into this truncated season. So before we say he's done, let's remember that part of it. It's not as simple as a regular season where he
and I agree with you on that. And there is that understanding of who this guy is. Right? And what basketball is right now. Basketball is the most popular sport in the United States right now. I think even more popular, or just as popular as football, which is the most popular sport. And how we take that moving forward. I don't know. I kind of feel like I think basketball is great, and I think what's going on here? Preseason, December 20th. What?
For what? What are you looking at there?
I'm looking at the schedule for the next bunch of things, because the final, the Nets beat the Celtics.
Right. They're up 2-0 now against Milwaukee.
Right. But are the Knicks out? No.
Yeah, the Knicks are done. It's over for them. All Knicks fans, relax. They weren't going to win a championship this year. This was
that's good. Look at how far they got. You should be so proud of the Knicks. Buy a hat.
Exactly.
The Nets are playing the Bucks, but that's not the final. Yeah. Is this it?
No. There's still this. This is the Eastern the semifinals still.
Oh, because the finals, who beat the who's? Oh, I'm looking at the.
So right now it's Milwaukee and the Nets who are up 2-0, and they're gonna play the winner of the Philly Atlanta series, whoever that is.
Philly and the Hawks. Right. Hawks, which came in 5th place, by the way, folks. Look at that. Knicks and the Hawks were even all the way through. It was the refs, obviously. That's what happened. I love that. I love that the fucking refs somehow destroyed your team. Not their playing, it was the refs. Which brings me up to asking you a specific question. Well, we didn't talk about the Mets. You want to talk about the Mets?
And
you got any baseball stories?
Well, you know that the whole thing now that baseball is cracking down on illegal pitching. You hear this? Illegal scuffing of the baseball and illegal, doings with the baseball, apparently.
Oh. Pine tar again. It's all the pine tar. One more time. Exactly. Let's bring it back to. You know what? I mean, come on, people. Seriously, we got other shit to worry about here.
So you're okay with scuffing up the baseball and having pitchers, throw no hitters? It's like 7 no hitters in the first month of the season, basically.
We're acting as if this is new.
Right.
That's
true.
The scuffing. Look, you know that pitchers have sandpapers in their mitts. You know that anything to break the contingency of the ball. So when you throw a pitch, it acts funny. You know, you throw that breaker and it acts all crazy. And pitchers are taught. Look, pitchers are fucking taught to do that by their fucking managers, right? By the people who their coaches are telling them what to do. No kid comes off goes to play baseball in the major leagues without having some exposure to that kind of cheating.
Illegal activities, right?
Illegal activity. It's fucking cheating. Same thing with pine tar. Same thing with fucking, dope and, getting all doped up and getting big. All that shit. These things happen. This is what we have expected of our athletes, even when it comes down to cheating. Should they cheat? Of course not.
Right.
Who am I to say? Not that big baseball fan. There's somebody out there who's watching this thing and saying, I hope he fucking brings that sandpaper and fucking... Because that's what you want your pitchers. You want pitchers to fucking strike people out, man. You want them to strike people out. So there's that. Is it a horrible thing? I don't know.
Well, they go in cycles. First, it was the home run ball was dominating. Then that's gone down a little bit, and then the pitching eras dominate. So it just depends on what you as a fan like. But yeah. I guess Major League Baseball is trying to do some type of balance now. But they've had 20 years of just chaos when it comes to steroids and now scuffing of the baseballs. I think people are kind of realize this is part of it, and unless people kind of. Nobody's going to cry if they stop scuffing it tomorrow and there's another 10 home runs in a game. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's just part of the cycle of you're always trying to get an advantage. That's what sports in general is. And this is an advantage that pitchers are trying to get over hitters when hitters have been dominating the sport for the last 15 years with home runs.
The circle of baseball. Exactly.
Right.
And it all depends, right? So, I want to ask you about Ted Lasso. I don't think you've watched it, so I'm a little disappointed.
No. But I had a good reason. My backyard collapsed. The wall in my backyard collapsed. So they were fixing it the last couple of days. So it was chaos. I looked up one day and I'm like, there's a crack. And then the next day, it rained.
The wall of his backyard collapsed. Are you talking about your next door neighbor was affected by this as well?
It's funny because the side that fell apart was my side, but his was fine. So of course now, you have to
that's what it is. That's what it is to live in the close quarters of a place like Brooklyn or where I live. I live right. Not me, everybody else around here because I live in the compound.
But you're in a compound. You're different.
I have a helicopter and sniper units that keep me living free, folks. They'll never get me.
Literally.
It's ridiculous. I like how Jason's walking around my house like, oh, you get to use this? I'm like, no.
Right.
No one get to use this. It's really a beautiful little garden, and it would be great to have a outside party.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it's so nice. You could have chairs and shit. If they move the cars out, you could actually have people sitting outside and sitting on the stoop and stuff. But no, that's never going to happen. So we can hope for the best someday in the future.
You could do like Kramer did in Seinfeld and just put a screen door next to your door and just put a lawn chair outside and just watch people walking by. Cause I got so many neighbors like, hey, what's going on?
You know what's funny about Seinfeld is have I ever told you my Seinfeld story? Like what? I don't think I have. So
no, I don't think so.
So Seinfeld comes out in I don't know, 90, whatever the fuck, 89.
Nobody liked it in the beginning, by the way.
No, that's not true. I did. I thought the first.
Ratings wise,
it was a mid-season replacement. There was only 6 shows or something that came out in the summer, right?
Right.
And they renewed it for the next for that season, but it was like one of those shows where like, let's try to see what happens. And I watched the first 5 episodes, and I was like, this shit's funny, and you could tell. Those first 5 episodes are like proto Seinfeld or whatever it is. It's not completely there, right? But it's there.
It was evolving.
And I was like, yeah, like most things. And I was like, you guys should see this show. It's on Tuesday nights or whatever on NBC at like 9 o'clock. It's really, really funny or whatever it was. And people were like, I'm not watching that. You don't know what you're talking about. It's like, no, Jerry Seinfeld's a funny guy. This show's funny. Okay. First season, watching it. Nobody's watching it. Watching it. About halfway through the first season is when it starts to pick up steam. And then second season comes on, and I'm like, I'm not watching this anymore. It's over for me. But people were like, this is the funniest thing. Blah, blah, blah. And then Friends came on, and it would lead in to like, not into Seinfeld, like Friends, and then that show with the married
Friends
people.
Will and Grace? Will and Grace?
Not Will and Grace. That came later. That came much later, actually.
Yeah,
no, it's the one with Paul Reiser and his wife.
Oh, that's right. I know the one
he's a film editor in New York.
Yeah, right.
I'm talking with my hands because I'm a Jewish guy.
After Aliens 2, he became a married man in New York City.
After Aliens 2, the worst person in the world.
He was trying to kill Ricky. Come on.
That was one of the fucking themes in fucking The Dead. That thing.
Right, exactly.
They want their heads because they go, blah, blah. It's like, really?
If
you haven't seen that movie, you should see it. Did we talk about Jonathan Livingston Seagull last week?
About what? We talked about so many different things.
We didn't talk about it. Okay, we talked about Zack Snyder. We talked about Zack Snyder and his.
Yes, we talked about Zack Snyder, right?
So I didn't say. I didn't talk about Jonathan Livingston Seagull.
I don't think so. So I was asking about what.
So, and this is not. I'm not fucking with Zack Snyder. This is true. Jonathan Livingston Seagull. It's a story about a bird that decides that his name is a seagull. That decides his name is Jonathan Livingston. Right? And then he wants to be a bird that flies. He's going to fly. He's going to fly as best he can. He's going to fly. And he meets these other birds that teach him how to fly better.
Gotcha.
And therefore, freedom. That's what Jonathan Livingston Seagull is about. I don't know why I'm having trouble saying Jonathan Livingston Seagull's about. But that connects to the idea of individuality and Randism, which is the cornerstone of what is today's political idea of libertarianism. It's not really libertarianism, but it's like what they consider to be libertarianism when it comes to the party line and shit like that. At least I think so. Hey, you want to correct me? You want to send me a book? Go ahead. Don't fucking talk to me. Seriously, I don't care. I don't care.
Autograph.
Don't write me a letter. Don't make a comment. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. Find me on
Unless
Facebook.
It's Rand Paul. Unless it's Rand Paul, then we want him on the show.
Yeah, Rand Paul, come on down. You son of a bitch. Rand Paul doesn't wear pants to his interviews in Kentucky. He wears shorts. So he'll have a suit jacket on with a tie and a pair of shorts like an animal.
Hey.
What the fuck?
Savages. Savages.
What a savage. And by the way, speaking of pants, have you heard the newest internet rumor about Trump?
No, what happened to his pants?
You haven't seen this?
No.
Oh, dude. So
is this a real?
Is this
a real thing?
This is a real thing. I'm putting Trump pants in my thing. Trump pants, because I want to show the folks Oh, getting a call.
That's it. That's Mitch McConnell trying to shut you down from talking about.
Mitch McConnell wants to know why I'm not supporting. Why aren't you supporting the
social media has a field day with Trump's wrinkled pants, but no,
yes, not wrinkled. Backwards. It's not just wrinkled; they're backwards. They're backwards.
But no, they weren't. They weren't backwards. People magazine is saying.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on a second. It was a lot of different things about this particular. I want to show it to you. Let me share my screen, and boom. Do you see my screen? You see my screen. Everybody see my screen? I see the screen. Look at this. See my screen. See my screen? Okay. This is the thing they're saying that he was saying that it wasn't backwards. But you know what? He doesn't know how to wear pants to begin with because look at this picture. It's like it's his diaper.
Is that
he has to wear? I'm not making it up. He wears a fucking diaper. Sorry. If you ever watch this guy golf, his diaper sticks out of his fucking pants. I didn't do this. He did. This is not Trump hate. This is Trump facts.
It's Fruit of the Looms.
So his pants were considered being backwards. I'm gonna stop sharing. But that's the thing, and I think it's a rumor. Don't care. It's hilarious. You know why? Because they made such a big deal about whether or not Biden was driving the actual car. Remember that whole fucking thing?
Right, I did.
Biden driving the car? I think that's who we're gonna say. It's like, why would they give him a special car with two wheels? And anyway, I mean, it's not like I know people who are older than Biden that drive. You know who I've never seen drive? Trump.
That's true.
You know why?
There's some truth to that.
Because he doesn't know how to fucking drive. And no one should be president if they don't know how to fucking drive.
Well, he's lived in New York City his whole life, in most of life. So you don't have to drive in New York when you have to give him a little
casting any aspersions, my friend.
If you're a New Yorker, you don't need to drive this. That's why you have a public transportation system.
I'm not casting any aspersions.
The rest of the world.
I'm saying, if you're gonna fucking make fun of Biden for driving a car, don't bring that shit here because Trump can't drive. I'm doing my major rule of whataboutism. I hate it. We're not talking about Biden. We're talking about Trump's pants. But I find it really funny when you do whataboutism to people, to Trump supporters, like, what are you talking about? It's like, and they don't actually, what they've started doing is not saying anything, which I think is really exciting. Right. Instead of saying, show me proof, and you're like, I'm not going to show you shit. They now, like, don't say anything. They don't say what about. They don't, or my favorite, when they do it, they bring you that link to a story from the Daily Caller or Red State, which makes me go, really?
Right.
The Daily Caller. That's all you got? Get the fuck out of here. Get that Nazi shit out of here. Oh, don't call anything Nazi they believe in. Don't do that. Really unfair.
Let me ask you this. So you're saying we should amend the Constitution and say that you can't be president unless you know how to drive. Is that part of what we should do?
No, there wasn't cars back then.
No, well, the Constitution's a growing, evolving, thing. We could.
I think that it falls on some kind of judgment issues. He's trying to keep caffeinated because I'm boring him. So
no.
It's water.
It's the Great Pumpkin, John.
It's meth. Liquid meth.
Folks. It's tea. It's té. It's té. You know that. Té. You know what that is. Yeah. Té de maíz. That's what it is. I got a little maíz in there.
There's some corn in there. So, the other thing, you're talking about Trump and his pants, but supposedly he wasn't looking so good, and he's walking a little worse than he was walking before, and there is concern that he's not doing so hot physically, like health-wise. Yes. A couple different people have said this kind of stuff. But what's really interesting about Trump this week isn't actually Trump. It's the Justice Department not, like, stopping some of the stuff from going through, or information from going through, because they're protecting him. And I think the reason why they're doing that is because they have to try to protect the president of the United States.
Right, whoever it is, right.
Right. So, because they don't want there to be a precedent set that they didn't. Because if they do that, then it becomes this thing where it becomes even more partisan. So, I get it. I don't like it, but I get it. Okay. Which brings us to this idea that you were saying. You read an article. You saw an article earlier today. Right. From The Atlantic. Was The Atlantic?
It's The Atlantic, yes. And the article is basically, I didn't get to read it, but I thought it was interesting topic because it's basically saying, based on what's going on in America now, can we unite as a country? Are we in a situation where our norms and just our views have broken down completely and we have to start all over? Or can we kind of revert and unite in a way as Joe Manchin wants us to be bipartisan and come together? So
that's
it's an interesting.
That's great that we brought that up because Joe Manchin is
yeah, I know. I know you wanted it. That's why I brought it up.
I always synergy, folks. It's synergy. We work together to get shit done. Synergy.
I always find this topic interesting because as a kid, and you know this too, as a kid we grow up and we're in two worlds, right? We're in this where our family's Dominican and in my case Puerto Rican, so we have these kind of norms that we grow up with in the household. But then when we leave the household and we go to school or we hang out with people, there's a whole different set of norms that we have to get used to, and we try to combine the two to make us part of this American dream. You know what I'm trying to say? And growing up, I've always been hurt. We both have been told in order to succeed, you got to work 3 jobs, you got to go to school, you got to work nights if you have to, do whatever you have to do to accomplish your goals, no matter how hard or difficult it is. And now we're in this kind of world now where those rules, or at least certain people don't want those rules to apply to them. They seem to kind of want the easy road or certain benefits. And it's kind of like, now we're in this weird world, like what's the American dream, if you want to call it that? Right. You know what I'm trying to say? What's the goal? What's the aspiration that we as Americans are supposed to have? So now we're kind of in this crossroads, and I find it interesting.
The article is called, I think, How America Fractured into 4 Parts, right? So right. Atlantic has been doing these stories like for the last year, like we're in trouble, no one understands what's going on, yeah. It's basically this theme that they're trying to work out, which is American identity. Like, what is it? Right? And I think that's it. I think that's actually what's happening here. We are deciding, we're fractured because we're trying to find what the American identity is going to be in the 21st century. It was the 20th century, we did not reconcile our racial divisions, our significant, other divisions and understanding. We didn't reconcile it. What we did was we put a Band-Aid on it. So the Irish and the Italians were accepted. The Polish were accepted. The Germans and the Japanese, after World War II, were accepted, but they had to go through that thing. Chinese people still aren't. They're just not. Chinese are not accepted. And we could talk about that and whatever, but there is this streamlining of an idea of what America is. And people who are in charge, white men, don't want to go back, like passing a law in Texas to hide racial history. What the fuck? What are we, children? It's like, you're talking about black people makes me feel funny. Well, then fucking you should talk about them more, because that's going to make you feel less fucking funny.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because the guy who wrote the bill was on CNN this afternoon talking about the bill. And the minute they came after him just a little bit, the first thing he said was, well, what about Charlottesville? And, there's good people on both sides. And the guy was
my God, he did not say that.
He's like, I'm not talking about Charlottesville. I'm talking about your bill. I want to read your actual bill.
What about Charlottesville? First of all, no, there was Nazis on one side. There was not good. If you're walking with the Nazis, you're a Nazi. By proxy. If you don't like it, go fuck yourself. See, that's what Don Lemon won't say. I want Don Lemon to say, go fuck yourself. It's like, Nazis, bad. Good people protesting Nazis, good. Right. Can we just get that out? What the fuck? And good people on both sides is absolute bullshit.
And he tried to throw CNN is leftist media, so there's an angle, and he's like, I'm not trying to do angles, I'm trying to read your bill. Let's go with line by line. But now the right or certain people on the right are use cultural grievances to put points across the board.
Right,
and that's a problem.
And that's the thing. The ongoing issue is this. Oh shit, blacks and Latinos are now more motivated to vote. When they vote, fucking people lose. I'm going to lose my job. I don't want that. How do I stop that from happening? Let's make the vote window as small as possible. Make sure they don't get water on their and let's stop people from putting in. Ken Paxton, the AG of Texas, said he fought the ability for people to put in mail-in ballots, and that's why Trump won Texas, because they didn't win it by a lot, but him fighting for mail-in the exclusion of mail-in ballots from certain sections stop people from winning, which to me sounds like, oh, then Texas should have gone purple, like I said back in fucking November that was going to happen, and you knew it was coming, so you went out of your way to limit the way people vote. That's fucking wrong. Now let's take it up to fucking Joe Manchin, this piece of shit, right? This guy, I thought I had respect for Joe.
Right.
We talked about this, as a matter of fact, like last 2 weeks ago. I was like, yeah, you know, I have a little respect for him. He's been trying to keep it down, you know, only Democrat in West Virginia, yada, yada, yada. Well, Joe, your job, right, as a Democrat is to pass fucking bills. You are getting, I don't know who's fucking putting money in your pocket. I'm guessing Walmart. Because Walmart doesn't want gays, like, no, and they don't want people to vote either. Big conglomerates like Walmart, AT&T and stuff, you know, say shit like they'll put a rainbow flag on their fucking logo, but they'll put a lot of money into stopping fucking, you know, trans and Hispanics. I mean, and gays from getting any more stuff, or actually working against it. Why? Because to them, anybody with a voice becomes a problem. Yeah. So Manchin's going out of his way to say, I'm not going to stop the filibuster because we need to work together. But really, the filibuster was created for Jim Crow. And all he wants to do is continue the Jim Crow ideology. Because that's how he's going to get reelected in West Virginia. Dude, we don't need your fucking vote. We don't need your seat if you're going to fucking vote with the other guys. Honestly. Get the fuck out of here.
Now, let's give Fox News a little credit, right? Chris Wallace had an interview with him on Sunday.
Yeah, that's where all this came from.
Yeah, and he came after him, and he was asking appropriate, hard-hitting questions, and Manchin just didn't have a reply for these questions. I mean, basically the questions were like, are you being naive thinking McConnell's going to help you in this?
Yeah.
Or shouldn't you use that as your, you know, kind of hide in the back pocket? Don't let anybody know what you're thinking, so that the Republicans could be a little bit afraid of what you're thinking, and they might actually join your side or work with you in some capacity. Very, you know, strict, simple questions that should be asked.
Perfect a strategic question coming from a news person,
right?
Who has been working this for a bit, right? Right. So that makes sense. Right. All right. And
no, I'm just saying, Joe Manchin's response was the same response he's giving lately, which he just wants his bipartisan friends to come together and work as a team. People are hitting him with facts now. Like, they're getting away from the bipartisan world, and they're hitting him with, like, this doesn't make sense, and he has no rebuttal for it. He's just kind of sticking with the company line for whatever reason, you know.
It's
like
because of money.
Maybe it's donors, maybe it's money.
It's money. It's money. He doesn't want,
because he just got reelected like 2 years ago, so he
but
still has 4 years to
it's a 6 years.
Up whatever.
He wants to keep this job for as long as possible. That's the other thing. You can't. I want term limits, man. I know that people are like, oh wait, it's just like against you, because these guys are, fuck them. You know how you do it? This is how you do it. They get. It's 6 years, right? They get 3 fucking terms. Right. Period.
Right.
Get 3 terms. They as a you know,
which is 18 years. It's a long time. You know what I'm trying to say? Right.
Come on, because by that time you're generationing out. You don't know what the fuck technology is doing anymore. You have no fucking clue. If you can't program your VCR, you cannot be in Congress. You can't use a cell phone. You can't use a database phone. You can't be in Congress. That's it. Like, you can't. Right. You don't understand what fucking Google does when one of these fucking idiots from what's his name from Gomert was yelling at the guy from Google. How come my daughter looking stuff up? And she should be like, sir, I don't run that. Those are news stories about you.
Right.
And they're on the service because Google is a service where you find shit. If you don't want to be considered an asshole, don't be an ass. Like, I would have been like, if you don't want to be an asshole, don't be an asshole. Yes, next question.
Right. Right.
And you're contempt of Congress because I'm telling the truth, sir. You are an asshole, aren't you? But I'm saying no one does that shit. And like, it's like, I want to get the fuck out of here button that Don Lemon hits when they say some bullshit fucking, you know, whatchamacallit, like some bullshit talking point. Wrong, you know, that kind of thing. I know it would be really disrespectful, but it would also be really fucking funny.
when you mentioned the whole technology thing, like you don't know technology after like 20 years. It's just Paul Ryan popped in my head a few years back. Remember when that kid was dabbing in front of him, and he was like, "Are you okay? What's wrong with you?"
Right, and then he did it, and people were like, "Get out of here, you dummy!" Remember that whole fucking workout regimen? Hey, I'm running for president. Look at my muscles. Like, get out of here, bro. Fucking Paul Ryan. Paul Ryan's an idiot. Look, there's a lot of moderate and smart Republicans out there that are looking to do certain specific things with the party. They were hired for a reason. They're not crazy pants people. They're not the people that are in the media. Right. Like Marjorie, whatever her face is, or Karen Brobert or whatever.
MTG.
Yeah. These people are not in the media constantly. And we could say the same thing about some Democrats that aren't not in the media constantly. That are just trying to do their fucking job. But let's face it, and we're talking about identity, so we can talk about this straight up. America's struggling with this idea of who we are, right? And the more stuff we see involving specific types of white victimhood, and I'm going to say that specifically because I'm going to give you some examples. That guy's kneeling before a football game. What's going on? White victim. What? The flag. Respect the troops. Yeah, blah. It's like, dude, he's just fucking on his knee. He's not. It doesn't make him any less American than you. It doesn't give any what you call it. What it does is say, hey, I'm making a point. That was the first thing that I saw that people keep pointing to now, where people are like, oh, these guys are violent, whatever. We had a nonviolent protest. You didn't listen. You made it personal. You made it about you. It's not about fucking you. Not everything that happens is about you. So this identity, it's like this identity of who we are is kind of bubbling to the surface. And it's scary to some people.
Yeah.
It's scary to white people. They don't want things to change. And when I say white people, I mean people who are and by the way, not just white people. There's Latinos that don't want things to change.
Right,
There's Asians that don't want things to change. There are conservative people out there of every stripe that don't want things to change. But the unfortunate thing is that we have to decide what we're going to be, right? Are we going to be an America of the past that connects to these really kind of violent and racial understandings of what the subdivisions of this country are?
Yeah.
Right? Tulsa, for example.
The whole Black Wall Street thing, right?
This weekend, speaking of Tulsa, Tom Hanks was like, wrote an op-ed and say, fucking Tulsa, we should know about. I didn't find out about Tulsa until I was in college, and I'm from the area. And that's kind of like this thing where we hide these horrible things from ourselves. And if we're going to talk about race, we got to talk about all of it. It's not just, slavery. It's also what happened to the Chinese. It's also what happened to the fucking Italians and Irish. It's also what happened to the Jews in this country. There's this giant thing about we don't want people to assimilate immediately. Like they should assimilate immediately. They talk about assimilation. You keep people out on purpose. You want Mexicans to be more American, but it takes a long fucking time to get there. Right. You and I we assimilated pretty quickly because we didn't have a fucking choice.
I know, we were forced into it, right.
No, but I mean, when I got to Brooklyn, the only Latinos we knew were our family.
Yeah, right.
And they slowly came in. They slowly rolled in. I grew up playing with white kids,
Right.
I mean, they are Puerto Ricans in there. I'm not gonna lie, but no offense to Puerto Rico.
Half of me is offended.
But we talk about this thing about understanding what race is, right? So there's this like bigger picture of stuff, and I'm not trying to be crazy or whatever, but white people, stop feeling like you're victims. No one's trying to take anything away from you. You got it all already. You got it all. The unfortunate thing is you keep falling for people that keep taking shit away from you and making it sound like it's me. I don't want your fucking house. Fuck you. I don't want to live there. I don't want your tricycles. I don't want your freaking fucking Honda. Get out of here.
The two kids and the dog and the picket fence.
I don't want any of that. You know what I want? I want you to respect me as a person. I know that's hard because I'm brown and all. But I want you to respect me as a person. And to your point, another point that we're talking about it's not, and by the way, it's not just a racial, it's also economic. There is this idea that Poor people want to be poor because obviously they're buying themselves, And by poor people, we have to realize that this is also millennials. A millennial that does not have a job that pays them at least $40,000 a year because that's considered middle class. I don't know how.
Right.
But if a millennial doesn't have a job that doesn't pay them at least $40,000 a year, they're not making rent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
That's hard. That's some hard shit. And that's what we're talking about. And
these millennials, by the way, aren't buying the whole work hard and get through and do 3 jobs. They're not buying that. They're basically like
because they know better, man. It's like 3 jobs. The fuck you talking about? Back in the 70s or the 80s when boomers were still a viable part of the. I mean, they're just old people now. Sorry, boomers. I'm not trying to say that to be mean. But most of you are over 60. And
statistics.
It's statistics, and maybe you've outlived your worth. You're worthless. Your worth. I'm kidding.
Ouch.
I'm kidding. You haven't outlived your worth. You're still making fun of millennials. So that's worth something, right? I know a lot of millennials. None of them are fucking lazy.
Yeah.
So this idea that millennials are lazy is bullshit. How about you pay them a living wage, and then we could talk about that.
Right.
That's something I'm struggling with as a contractor. You always got to fucking negotiate what you're going to get paid, and for the most part, people are like, "I'm not going to pay you that." I'm like, "Then you're not going to get me to work for you," and they're like, "What?" It's like, why do you think I'm going to take that hourly wage that won't pay my fucking bills because you want me to?
Right.
You're a dick. You know what I'm saying?
I think companies are scared at this time because of what you just said. I think, and I think we mentioned this, but we should mention it again because I feel this is a big thing. Coronavirus has changed perspectives in many people's lives.
The landscape has completely changed. That's absolutely true.
And what you just said is a perfect example of people are saying, why am I going to work for $10 an hour? Let's just throw a number out there and bust my ass when I could have been dead 6 months ago. Why am I doing this? Why am I killing myself if I can't go on a trip to, South Beach and just hang out for the weekend? I can't just do that because I don't have enough money. Like, I can't do little things just to get by. So why am I going to kill myself? Right. So this idea, and I think companies understand it. That's why you see them trying to say, hey, maybe you can work on, from home on Fridays if you come into the office now.
Walmart gave all its employees a phone.
Right.
Right? Didn't pay them money. Didn't pay them more money. If they were to do the math on the fucking phone, right, on that giveaway, they would have probably been able to give these people that work for them some extra money. Here's a bonus, a $200 bonus. You're going to spend it here anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand that. I don't understand the whole idea behind that. You're right. These people are like kids, not just people, not just millennials, Generation Xers too. We're like, fuck.
People in general, right?
There is going to be people are realizing that when coronavirus finally breaks and people have to start coming into the office, people are gonna fucking quit. I don't want to do this. Later,
they get it.
I
know people.
I'll work for the people who let me work from home 4 days a week,
right?
Or 3 days a week or whatever. As a matter of fact, as a contractor, my one of the things that I use for the new things that I'm working on is how many days a week can I work from home? Why? Because I don't want to be in your fucking office every fucking day. Why?
Let's look at it this way.
What's the point?
Let's look at it money wise. Let's say you're making 50 grand, right? Compared to somebody that's making 80 grand, right? After taxes and you going into work, taking trains and buying lunches in the city or whatever, it's coming out to the same amount of money if I'm home making 50 grand. So why not stay home? And that's what people are looking at.
You're making money. You're making more money at home. That's what I mean. Spending money out of pocket.
That's what I mean. That person making 80 is making 50 at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So why would I go into the office and make 80, but I'm doing all this extra work? Why kill myself for you?
I'm happy to go to the office. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy to go there. I
agree.
Because I think it's important for people to see my face and see my work style and blah, blah, blah.
And just socially.
Right. And the social idea, that's fine. I agree with that. I'm not going to be there fucking 5 days a week. Mondays and Fridays, maybe I'm working from home. I don't know. Maybe Wednesdays and Thursdays. Let's put it
this way. Why are you working 5 days a week when the people in the cubicle down the road are home 5 days a week? You know what I'm saying? Like, we should all be 5 days a week if that's the case. None of this kind of game of who stays and who doesn't. Like, it should be something across the board.
But that's also part of this American identity thing, right? The the idea of the restaurant worker and people. I don't know if you ever worked in a restaurant. I have. It fucking sucks. The idea of a restaurant worker is, there's all these little things.
I was a Kifu guy.
Yeah,
Kifu guy right here.
Kifu.
Right.
How many bags you got? You got a bag of them. Don't put the eggs in the bottom. Don't put the eggs in the bottom.
Supermarket sweep.
The eggs in the bottom and the bread. The eggs and the bread go on top always. You got a nice space. Nice space with the frozen food.
Right.
Keep all the frozen food together. I had a guy once, and I respect, man. He took a plastic bag and put all my frozen food in the plastic bag together, and then put that at the bottom of the paper plastic situation. And then he put shit on top, and I was like, wow. You're always thinking. You're always thinking.
One step ahead of the game.
Yeah. He's like, keep everything cold. I got you, buddy. But that's the thing. It's like we're coming to a place where people are deciding what the identity of what's my identity? What's going to happen? What am I going to do? Do I want to live this life? And the answer is no. And corporate America is having fucking trouble with that because people are organizing all of, Amazon went out of its way to kill that organization by doing all kinds of dirty tricks, union busting dirty tricks, right? That they got away with in wherever they were. Right. But it's time for us to start thinking. Maybe we need to, if you start a business, you have to be aligned with a union.
Right.
I don't know. Right. I know that's scary to some people because and by the way, if you start a business, the government should fucking help you start that fucking business. Here's a free loan or whatever. For the first 10 years, business is still going to fail. You're going to take a hit, but the government should be helping you then. Why? Because all that does is help the economy. I don't want money going to Exxon. Fuck Exxon.
Right.
Help the mom and pop guy that wants to start that fucking cupcake store because I need more cupcake stores in my neighborhood. God damn it.
Less overhead helps you, hire workers, put more into your product and just grows your business, right?
Wow, look at that.
I get it.
Look at that. Everything we just said. And that, of course, is a problem because Exxon needs that $1 billion break on their tax. Right. Fuck them! Gas is $3 a gallon right now. $3 a gallon because supplies are low. On purpose, thank you, OPEC.
And the reason
don't blame
why
Biden for that. The fact that we have OPEC existing is the problem. The Saudi Arabia wasn't making any money during the fucking pandemic. They got to make money now. They fucking cut down production. That's what's happening, folks. Hey, don't come to me with your bullshit, honestly, because I'm gonna fucking take you down every time.
And one of the reasons he's bringing up cupcakes is because this weekend he tried some of the best cupcakes he ever had in his life in Bay Ridge recently.
I didn't go to that place. Actually, but I went to the Italian bakery down the other side of the block, on 3rd Avenue and 94th Street. 3rd Avenue, 94th Street, across the street from the Key Food. Sorry, the Food Town. There's there's a block that's really kind of good. It has a bakery on the corners. One bakery is kind of like this Martha Stewart kind of like cupcake bakery, but there's no seats inside because coronavirus. Cool. And they're not putting anything outside because I guess they're not smart. I don't know.
A lot of business. They have. I don't know. They're getting a lot of
if I had a cupcake store and I didn't want you inside, I put a couple tables outside, and let you eat outside, maybe a bench. I don't know, but that's me. But I didn't. I went to that place and I have a piece of what happened? I have a piece of one of my paintings fell down. I have a piece of carrot cake in the refrigerator that I'm probably going to eat later for dinner.
There you go. Look at you eating healthy carrots. It's good for the eyes.
Eating healthy carrots.
Good for the eyes.
Another Brooklyn thing, by the way, folks. That's another Brooklyn. You say something, but then you add a descriptor to that thing. Like driving those fast cars. Not driving a car, driving a fast car. Eating that hot pizza. It's like, okay.
Your brother used to eat the carrots raw, just like grab them out the fridge, just like Bugs Bunny, just go right for them.
Who is this?
Your brother back in the day, because I couldn't stand that when he used to do it, but that was his thing.
He's a violent dude. He's violent with his food. I'm kidding. we are moving towards. It's going to be July, and there's talk of going out to California. Some of us,
right? We're still waiting on some logistics.
We'll see what happens.
Pieces.
I'm just saying, vaccination.
It would be great to do the.
So I'm saying,
great to do the podcast for California, though. We
Oh, we gotta do it. We gotta do it on our phones or some shit. That's gonna be awesome. That'd be great. But we can't. I would like to do it, but it can't be. I don't know how to do this because it's exactly you. I mean, it'd be great. I'm actually cool. I would bring my iPad and if we can live stream it.
With the Hollywood sign behind us.
I lived in the O for a little while. But no, that's interesting.
A remote location.
Maybe we can do a whole lot of different. Maybe we could do a whole lot of little snippets and then put that together as a show. We can edit it together.
Look at that! It could be a traveling kind of tour. See, always thinking of making exploding this genre to the next level.
Always thinking. Well, we got to put the front and the end, the front end, and the back end, and we could toss in a picture. I could put it in. I don't have any of those streaming things that a couple different people do. Or maybe we could do an Instagram film thing. We could just put them on Instagram
Live.
Look at us.
Right.
Trying to solve it every day.
Give the kids what they want. Give the kids what they want. More Instagram.
Doing live Instagrams from fucking places would be funny, I think.
It is. I agree.
But, we couldn't curse in front of the children. The children! But
the children.
maybe we could hide hide ourselves at Disneyland and do some shit there. If things happen the way they should.
Things we'll see. Develop the way they should.
I don't wanna get anybody excited.
I mean, if it doesn't happen in the near future, it will happen eventually. We're just trying to find the logistics.
There's a when it's happening. But
right.
Rather go in July than in September because, wildfires and shit like that.
October could be another date.
October's good. That's my birthday. But I think I might be going to Las Vegas. Hello.
Las Vegas only 3 hours away, my friends. So
we'll see.
Let me know. We could jump from,
I have a friend that's birthday falls around the same time as mine, and we can we'll figure it out.
So you plan on going to Vegas itself, like
a Vegas hotel weekend type of thing. Like you go to Vegas, you take edibles, you walk around, check out the fountains, maybe see a fucking zombie tiger. I don't know. Take it easy. So I was watching. By the way, do you watch these shows after we put them up? Have you watched any of them?
I do. I look to see how we can improve and just little tweakings.
I'm gonna be a bit of an asshole because I think this is kind of funny. I watch them just to laugh at myself being an asshole. Like every time, just you too. But you're not so abrasive. You're actually kind of sweet. You come up as the nice guy. But
it's the yin and yang. It's the yin and yang.
I'm an abrasive dick, and I talk about Zack Snyder like I hate the guy. I kind of like the guy, honestly. I like his movies. I know that whatever. Make fun of Jonathan Livingston Seagull, but last week we were talking about some, and we were making fun of the zombie apocalypse movie, and I said something about why they didn't go in with drones and just blow things up or whatever, and I'm thinking I could have wrote a better movie than that, and or about tanks. You're driving people in, it's dumb. But it was, like that whole scene we were talking about what we would do with Las Vegas really cracked me up. And also the poker face joke, which is hilarious. Just like, if you haven't seen those highlights, kids, this is Sports Center.
Nah. But by the way, speaking of movies, one movie I will see this weekend. Because it's free on Disney Plus, but you can see it in the movies if you want. In the Heights, and I'm going to tell you why.
HBO, it's HBO. Not Disney Plus.
HBO. Sorry, HBO. So I'm gonna watch this movie because I saw Hamilton on Disney, right? And I'm glad that I did because I wasn't going to spend $2,000 to watch it.
Well, now it's cheap. It's cheap again. I want to see it live, so I haven't seen it. On
I do too. So let me know when you're thinking, because I'm
thinking about going like when they put tickets out. I think the tickets are already out. I would like to go during the summer.
Right. Okay.
But I want to see it live. I don't want to fucking. Look, here's the thing.
Yeah.
And keep going. You're see this.
No. I want to see this because, so this is like the first. All right, let me go back. Denzel Washington, when he made that movie Fences, I think it was.
Fences,
that movie he directed.
Yeah, Fences.
Denzel said that he made the movie because he felt that it was a movie coming from a certain perspective, and he felt that, somebody that grew up in his world could tell it better than somebody else, right? So, which I understand what he's trying to say. Mm-hmm. In the Heights is not directed by a Puerto Rican or a Dominican or Lin-Manuel Miranda. So I'm just trying to. I'm curious to see. I think it was the guy from Crazy Rich Asians. I think directed it, if I'm right. So I'm just curious to see how somebody from a totally different, world comes in to do this movie that's supposed to be pro, Latino, Dominican, Puerto Ricans. I'm just curious to see how he would take that movie and make it his own, considering, the topic. I
am so glad that you're saying this. Here's why. Okay? I have a running joke with a friend of mine who's Jewish, right?
Okay.
And the joke is this. Mothers are the same.
Right.
You know how we talk about our Dominican mothers and how they're like, you look thin, you haven't eaten, blah, 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 have a seat, do this, do that. And how people react to things.
Yes.
Jewish mothers will do the same thing, though. Have you eaten? Have you done this? Why are you making a mess? All that shit that I've heard come from their mouth, I've seen in our parents. And my friends' parents, my friends, my Asian friends' parents, who are always kind of like, "What are you doing?" They don't. That translation of overwhelming mothers,
right,
is very much in there. So I first of all, just so we can give perspective again about this particular thing. In the Heights was written by Lin-Manuel
Miranda,
who created it. Miranda, who created it. Lin-Manuel is, I know he's talking about the immigrant experience and Latinos and whatever, but he comes from a rich family. Like, his father's the ambassador.
Right.
Some fucking shit. So,
but to give him credit,
I appreciate it.
No, but to give him credit, like, in order to make it in Broadway, you kind of have to have some kind of money. You know what I'm saying? You just don't make, it takes. It's not easy to make a Broadway musical. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, you have to have a lot of connections. So
but I mean, it's that whole idea of Jenny from the Bronx type of thing, fucking bullshit that I told you about, with this idea of this woman being this authentic, she went to fucking private school. She didn't talk to the people in her neighborhood. Get the fuck out of here.
My love don't cost a thing. Is that the song of the week?
No.
I think we come on.
No. Love don't cost a thing. Is that hers? What are you talking about?
Is that hers? Is that her?
No. Oh, now we gotta look it up. Hold on a second.
Yeah, but that was part. If it wasn't the name of the song, it was
Jennifer Lopez.
It was the chorus at one point or something.
Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer
running around
Jennifer.
She was running around.
Jennifer Lopez songs hits. Jennifer Lopez hits. On the floor, love. Pati pati. The fuck is this?
That's not a hit.
Let's get loud. Let's get loud. Let's get loud.
I guess that's one of her big ones.
Booty, AKA, with AKA. I'm real. That's the one.
The one with LL Cool J. Is that the one?
I'm not. No, whatever. I'm real.
Oh, right. She did one with LL.
All I have, ni tuyo no, papi. Love don't cost a thing. You're right. That is one of her songs.
See, come on, look, it comes out right there, 2003. No, that's the movie. That's the movie.
All right, fine. This is song of the week. Love don't cost a thing. I rather that than fucking what's that horrible Britney song that I can't stand? Oops, I did it again.
Worst.
That
was huge when they came out.
What?
That was huge when they came out.
Piece of shit. I hated that song.
She did that heart thing.
Because they did that whole tight. Well, no, the dancing. Here's the thing about that too. I don't mind Britney dancing her ass off. Fine. I don't mind her wearing little fucking school uniforms. Terrific. Keep doing it. It's awful. I know. I don't care. It's attractive. What I don't like is just dumb songs. Like that song was dumb. Like Toxic is a great song. Toxic is a great song. You want to dance to it. It has some cool shit in it. People have redone it. It's cool. Has a nice fucking riff. The guys who produced it are fucking cool. That's a cool song. That other song, meh, meh, meh. It's like Message in a Bottle or Genie in a Bottle. Meh, meh. Genie in a Bottle. Get the fuck out of here.
She did this. She did this and that one.
Yeah, okay. Whatever. Genie in a Bottle. Did this. He did this. Hey, folks, remember the 90s?
Who knew?
Oh, poor Britney.
So what were you saying about Lin-Manuel? What were you saying about?
Well, Lin-Manuel Miranda is not involved in that that thing, and it's fine. I'm not taking anything away from him. I think he's a very talented guy. I don't like seeing shows in movie form. I'd rather see them in the theater. But I think that In the Heights, because I missed that fucking boat, so to speak, because they're immigrants. I missed that boat. I'm gonna have to see it on HBO. And hope for the best. I might be inspired. Hey, I saw whatchamacallit on I saw there's tons of musicals that I've seen movies versions of. That are I love.
Was La La Land one of them? Were you a La La Land fan?
La La Land was not a musical. It was a movie musical.
No, but it was a movie musical.
I've not seen La La Land actually, but I have seen West Side Story, and I have seen.
Of course.
What's the one with the kids?
Rent?
No, yeah, Rent. Actually saw Rent. I've never seen the movie. I saw Rent in the theater.
And you enjoyed it?
Sound of Music.
Right.
Which is I've seen Phantom of the Opera 2, the movie version.
That sounds like a date. That sounds like you went on a date and saw that.
Well, by myself, because I saw it in the middle of the night on HBO.
Oh, I thought you saw Phantom of the Opera in Broadway, is what I'm saying.
Broadway?
Right.
Phantom of the Opera. That's not my cup of tea. But I gotta tell you, it's been running for years. Wouldn't mind seeing Phantom of the Opera in the theater, actually. I'm making a list. I'm gonna make a list of
and checking it twice. He's making a list and checking it twice.
Stuff I want to see. Like I want to see performances now that the world stopped ending. The world's picking itself up. I can't wait to go. I can't wait to be in Broadway and have someone try to shoot me. Because that's it. That's Pinnacle, New York. I was on. I got a pizza and then someone tried to shoot me. What?
Welcome to the 80s again, my friend.
Welcome to the 90s. Welcome to any time in New York. When people say, violence is going up, it's like, what are you fucking kidding me? It's no.
I said the same thing. It's like
the police. Have you heard about this? This weekend, the police, after getting a lot of complaints, raided Washington Square Park this weekend.
Right, they shut it down. They had a curfew.
They shut it down and they arrested a few people. And local people were like, that's great. Why don't you just have cops here more often?
Right.
And then they did this on Friday night, and on Saturday the press was out to see what's going on. They didn't come back because they don't want bad press. But the idea is this: why have a raiding party of people? Why not just put out a few cops? Are you so afraid of people now that you can't arrest people? It's like, just don't kill them. I think that I think as New Yorkers and as people of color and whatever, we're okay with the police as long as they're not killing us or ousting us or kettling us, or hitting us with their batons for no reason. It's like, take it easy, protect it. Like there shouldn't be police if you're protesting, police should be like, maybe making a thing around you. And so there isn't too much of a thing, but stopping you and then firing fucking tear gas immediately, it's like, hey, what's going on here? Or kettling, which is something they did all last summer.
Yeah.
They found actually appropriate. No. Get the fuck out of here.
On that note, you sent me a I think it was last week when the Yang Gang got attacked in Park Slope. When you sent me the story.
By protesters that were like, they chased him, and he's like answering questions on the run. No, I don't know this. Yeah. He's not. It looks like he's not going to win. It looks like there's some ranked choice voting. He's coming in second, next to the black police guy.
Eric Adams?
Yeah, Eric Adams.
Wait, voting started already?
No. When is it? When is the primary? Next week?
I think it's next week.
Yeah. I missed New Jersey's primary because I didn't get my shit together, so I gotta get my shit.
It's not coming out yet. Yeah, I think
it's next week. It looks like Eric Adams is gonna win.
So how do you know this? Where are you seeing this?
I saw this thing about it. Wait, New York. Mayor oral primary, Dem primary, projections.
Right. Oh, projections! Come on, anybody can project something these days.
Top mayoral candidates for positions in the final stretch of New York City mayoral race. Eric Adams 22%, Andrew Yang 16%, Catherine Garcia 15%. Scott Stringer 10%, Maya Wiley 9%, and then that's it. Sean Donovan 3%, and Ray McGuire and Diana Morales.
Hey, Eric Adams was a police officer back in the day.
And he was. And he's blacker than black. Can't be blacker than fucking Eric Adams.
He was fighting stuff from within for a long time. So,
but this is good because what this really does is that it expresses this particular feeling. Of what New York politics are turning into, and I think that the last black mayor that made it, David Dinkins, that made New Yorkers swear off of black people, I guess, for a while, was the demographics has changed, lots of things have changed. I have a feeling that Eric Adams will win, and will bring people like Catherine Garcia, Maya Wiley, and Diana Morales into the fold. I don't know about Sean Donovan or Ray McGuire or Scott Stringer because all those guys are a bit assholes to me, from what I understand. But we'll see what happens. I think Adams.
The Yang Gang said if you model him after a politician, he said he would be more of a Bloomberg type for New York City, the same type of mayor that Bloomberg was. So that gives you an interpretation and then an insight of that kind of world.
Well, Andrew Yang is also talking about giving people $200 a week or something like that, right?
Yeah, because he believed in that for a long time. This isn't just something that came up.
If he wants to give me $200 a week, I'll take it. I'm just saying.
Well, he believed in the social experiment where you give like money to people so that they get off welfare and they get off food
I think that if you give $200 a month extra to people, it's going to do two things, right? One, it's going to alleviate a lot of fucking pressure because that's school supplies, that's orange juice, that's sneakers. You know what I mean? Right. Is it the best fucking sneakers? No.
Right.
But it's sneakers for your kids if you have kids. Now, if it's just you, that's a pair of sneakers.
Right.
Which, if you think about it, I'm laughing.
That's a Jordan.
Or a bicycle. No, you think about it, I'm laughing. But it's not. What it just did is I just gave a local business a lot of money.
Yeah.
We can look at it in all kinds of different ways. You could say, well, this is going out of my. Look, I don't want to buy any more bombs. Can my tax dollars go to something that'll help somebody? I'd rather not buy any more. Can we have can public transportation be free? Maybe that. I don't know.
Right.
Is it a giveaway? Yeah, it's a giveaway. Does it help people? Yeah, it helps fucking people. Maybe fucking put homeless people in a tent or something. I don't know, but do something other than buying a fucking bomb.
Because these bombs cost a lot of money, by the way. It's not like they're
Yeah, they're not cheap.
They're talking about
drones are fucking fucking a couple $1 million.
I know.
So that could maybe that'll help a school. I don't know. Maybe one less drone.
Speaking of that. What do you think of this whole UFO phenomenon? Do you think this is the Chinese with new aircraft, or are we being visited by close encounters of the third kind? What do you think is going on with this? I find it interesting that this becomes so mainstream. It's unbelievable. Because it's going to be a report that's going to come out. I forget. It was supposed to be 90 days from now. Maybe
it's all Bigfoot. 50 days. All of it's Bigfoot. Right. All of it is Bigfoot and
down, kind of like what we're doing.
Bigfoot and Chupacabra out together.
You're talking real, and now we're talking UFOs. Come on, let's decompartmentalize here.
No, but seriously, I don't know. When people talk about UFO, first of all, there's a show on television. You might have seen it. It's called Ancient Aliens.
Yes.
I watched that fucking thing and I'm laughing for hours because what the fuck? And it's like you starts with like something very simple, like were the pyramids made by aliens? Maybe.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And then you're like, okay, well maybe. Well, we found this dust in Peru that has all this that has this metal that isn't found on Earth. Oh, okay, this meteorite metal. Okay, so Peruvian meteorite.
The Inca lines. I want to see the Inca lines, by the way.
And then and then we took another step, and then all of a sudden, human alien hybrids. What? It's like, what happened?
Yeah, right. There's no in between. Right.
There's no in between. It's like, well, this is some interesting fact. Oh, human alien hybrids. Wait a minute. What happened? Well, maybe that aliens with bird heads. Aliens with bird heads.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
One of my favorite shows on TV for a long time was Stargate. That made sense. Alien with bird heads. They had metal bird heads. It made sense. I was okay with that.
It was a good movie. It was a good movie too back in the day.
It's a great movie. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
But alien human hybrids, okay. I don't know. It could have maybe sure.
I mean, you got top Navy pilots and saying we don't know what the hell this is. You know what I'm trying to say, which is what makes it interesting. That these guys are trained to see all sorts of aircraft, and they're like, I have no idea what I'm watching.
Hold on.
So it's interesting.
Hold on. I want you to say that thing you said before again.
What?
You said top.
It's top naval pilots or air.
Top naval pilots. Oh, fuck.
Or Air Force or people in the Air Force.
Yeah, I'm just gonna play this ad really quick, and then we're gonna say top naval pilots again. Okay. This is like this Apple ad. Color match accessories. That's fantastic. iMac, huh? Yeah. Okay. Top naval pilots.
Top naval pilots.
All right, that's it. I don't know.
Danger Zone, baby. That could be the song of the week.
Danger Zone. I love that song. It's so stupid. That song is one of the songs that when it's on the radio, I turn up the sound and sing along with it. To the point where people who are, if I'm at a red stop sign, people are like, "What the fuck's up with this guy?"
Danger Zone.
That's funny. I don't own a Danger Zone. I don't own it. Danger Zone is owned by the people who own it. Just played a little bit of it, just a little bit. There's a snippet of Danger Zone, not the actual song. Please purchase it if you'd like. Danger Zone. And it'll say hello to you. All right. That movie's coming up, man.
Yeah, I think 4th of July, isn't it? That's a page.
Oh, they moved it up to 4th of July? Oh, shit.
Hold
on a second. You saw Cruella already, right?
Of course.
You had to go see it. Did your kids like it? Was it for kids?
They did. It was kind of a in between. It had elements for kids, but elements, when dogs are killing people and they're falling off, mountain ranges.
When the dogs are killing people. All right, this is from the New York Times. June 1st, Changing the Game. June 4th, All Light Everywhere. Ancient Woods. The movie that I want to see is already out, and that's Quiet Place 2.
Yeah, I want to see. But that's you have to go to the theaters for that. That's exclusively theater, right? That's not like Netflix or whatever.
Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. That came out last week on HBO Max. The Real Thing. Slow Machine. Spirit Untamed. You gonna see that one?
Spirit, in some capacity.
Sooner or later. Awake on Netflix.
So it's not coming out 4th of July? I read it was 4th of July.
Well, we'll get there. Tragic Jungle on Netflix. The Woman Who Ran. That's on Asia Censor Domino Battle of the Bones. What?
Yeah, initial release July. Oh no, that's 2021.
A man and his stepson complete a domino tournament. In the Heights, of course. The Misfits with Pierce Bronson.
Oh, they pushed it back to November 19th. They said.
Yeah, Skater Girl.
Supposed to come July 2nd.
So June 16th, The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard is going to be in theaters. That shit's funny. I want to see that. Have you seen The Hitman's Bodyguard yet?
I have not.
You should see it. It's really funny. Crime on the Bayou. I don't care about that because not because it's about raped kids. I'm not a big crime guy nowadays. Fatherhood, which the trailer of this freaking movie made me cry, is going to be on Netflix with the smallest actor in the world, Kevin Hart. That guy is small.
But he's buff. He's like solid now.
There's also a movie called Rise Against Tulsa in the Red Summer, which looks at the 1921 massacre. And we're not letting this one go, folks. We're not letting it go. Tulsa is a really big rallying point because this is why. This is very interesting. It's been in 2 HBO shows, but the first HBO show was in Watchmen. People didn't want to talk about Tulsa because they didn't know how white people would take it.
Right.
And maybe it was a generation of white people because millennials seem to be like, what the fuck? And that's one of the things that I find really interesting about millennials that I know bothers boomers. They question shit. Whoa.
I know, that is true.
And not conspiracy honestly, what I think what in the actual fuck is something that I've heard many times said by millennials. And it's kind of like, what is it? What's going on? Rita Moreno, a woman, the girl who decided to go for it, that's awesome. In theaters. Siberia, I don't know. The Sparks Brothers, the Edgar Wright movie, directed what it feels like a put in front of the band Sparks. Oh, it's the documentary. Edgar Wright's documentary on the Sparks Brothers. Don't know who the Sparks Brothers are, folks. Check it out. Sweet Thing, 24, Sisters on the Rack, 25, Against the Current, F9, False Positive, I'll Carry You With Me. Oh, the weekend of the 25th is also the weekend of Pride. We're having a Pride Parade this year.
Like wait. Like the New York City Pride Parade?
Yeah.
They're doing it?
Yeah.
I didn't know if they were going to do it.
The last Sunday of the month.
Is this like, is it going to be contained to a certain amount of people because of COVID, or they just like every,
I think
New York doesn't officially open until July 1st.
I think we're at 70% in New York City.
Right. But I mean, we're all open July 1st. Like that's the date. Like we're supposed to be everything.
I know it's all over July 1st, but sure, it's like wear a mask. I think that it's going to be hard to tell people not to. We're going to be at 70%. We're already at 70% in New York City. I think I'm wearing a mask if I'm going to Pride.
Yeah.
I'm also going to check it out. Like I'm going to go hang out down there and see what's up. I mean, it's going to be insane, but it's going to be, maybe it'll be cool insane. I don't know.
Well, it's one of those. I used to work at in New York One back in the day. It was in Chelsea Market, right? That's where their headquarters were. So you would have to, like, if I wanted to go home, I would have to pass the Pride Parade when it was going on, basically, like on the weekends and stuff. And you kind of sometimes if you work an early shift, like I just want to get home, and I would always get caught up in it because I'm going to like the train, and all of a sudden I'm spending like an hour just like watching floats and watching people dancing. It's a great parade. Forget about whatever you believe in, your beliefs. Like just parade wise, people are just having fun. It's just like an exciting. People just like no holds barred. It's what parades are supposed to be. Parades sometimes can be very boring and bland and just like a little flow and people waving. Like people are partying. You know what I'm trying to say? It's a very interesting dynamic.
It's a big party, and it's a big party all that week because that's also Fleet Week. So because it becomes Fleet Week and then it goes into the 4th of July weekend. So
yeah.
I
didn't realize that they were like
to me
doing it.
Growing up in New York, you as a Latino man, you kind of evolve into what this is, right? So at first you're kind of like, all right, I'm going to use some words. People, please don't write, but maybe you should get an idea of what
this is about. Don't get offended.
Yeah, really. We know this is. I don't feel this way, but I'm going to use some words. So as growing up in the 70s and 80s, as a young Latino man, gays were considered like freaks, and the word maricon would be used a lot around and tossed around. And maricon in the Dominican Republic means cocksucker, basically, which is but it doesn't have to be derogatory. You know what I'm saying? It's like Maybe that's a descriptor, but is it a negative descriptor at this point? I don't know. I think overall we've evolved past that, and we don't use that word anymore. But with the understanding that these are who these people are, right? They're gay. The ongoing issue about pride and stuff like that made you feel like, who am I to tell anyone how to fucking live their life, let alone the people I love. You got to do what you got to do, as long as you do it safely and you don't hurt anybody or hurt yourself. That's kind of where I come down on it. And I'm not judging anybody. You can do, like I said, do whatever the fuck you want. If you want to do that, do it. Just don't bring that shit home to me,
right?
Or people that I care about. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. So, growing up as Latino man, you kind of have to understand that there is this kind of dichotomy of machismo, and there's lots of men that were very macho, but very gay. For example, the actor who played the Joker on Batman, he was gay. Did you know that?
The TV show, you mean?
Yeah, the Joker, the TV show.
Right.
What's his name?
Back in the 60s.
Joker, yep. Joker TV show actor.
With Adam West.
Adam West was not gay.
No, I didn't say he was gay. I said the Batman with Adam West. I said the Batman with Adam West, so people can put it into perspective. Not the Batman with which my favorite. I'm blanking on his name. He was in. Come on, I'll think of his name. He was in Spider-Man.
The new what? Larry Storch was they have everybody who ever played Joker in here. This is fucking great. Hugo Black, a voice. The Randy Spears, the porn actor who was in Batman XXX.
Randy Spears.
Tony Hale played the Joker in Batman Ninja. That's interesting. Tony Hale? What?
Of course, Jack Nicholson played it back in the day.
Jack Nicholson played it, and of course, River
Heath Ledger.
Phoenix. Not River Phoenix, his brother.
Heath Ledger. No.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Right. That was the last one.
Man, so July, like this summer movies, no joke, man. Old Snake, which looks like a piece of shit, but whatever. Snake Eyes or G.I. Joe Origins.
That's right. What about that? That's gonna be crazy.
Enemies of
Snake Eyes.
That Green Knight movie, Jungle Cruise. You know who's gonna see that one?
Jungle Cruise,
immediately.
Of course.
This guy. You're gonna go see it, right? You're gonna see the
The Rock. The Rock's in it.
The Rock's in it.
The Rock is it.
Then you got Edgar Wright's documentary. Edgar Wright has another fucking documentary. Edgar Wright's crazy. Oh, this is wrong. Okay. And that. Oh, yeah. And then we get to the big stuff. Suicide Squad, August 8th. August 4th, sorry.
And nobody from the first one is in it. Like, it's just like Will Smith never existed. Is he in it? Or
different bunch of Suicide.
Right.
The Suicide Squad is mutable. So the characters change depending on who's in prison. At any given time.
But this girl's still in it.
Yeah, so there's a couple of people that are being brought over. Flag's in it.
Right.
But Peacemaker isn't a villain, but somehow he's in the Suicide Squad. I guess I don't know how that worked.
Right.
Maybe he's insane. That trailer is really fucking great. You seen the trailer for it?
Yeah, I have seen it. Yeah.
I believe in peace so much. I love peace. I'll kill every man, woman, and child on this island for peace. It's like, yow. So you were the crazy one. I am. That shit's funny.
Yeah. It's gold. It's comedic gold.
It's comedy gold. It's fun because hey, listen, man, I don't know. I like the guy who made it. We had that thing.
By the way, you got a like evil Kirk thing going on now.
Oh, you like my beard? Look, it's not Kirk. It's not.
It's like yes. Because back in the day, that's how we knew who was a bad guy. Like when they go back in time.
Why do you think I'm wearing?
They had a goatee. They were like
I'm the evil Jesus now. I'm evil Jesus. Evil Amablito. Amablito. You got to go high, or I'm not gonna listen.
Right.
Amablito, no one's listening to that. Amablito. You got to do it like up here.
You got to hit that high note, a C note.
¿Qué pasa, muchacho? It's up there.
Glass has to shatter in order for you to turn.
Glass has to shatter, and chancleta's got to fly. I've seen some chancletas do some shit. They put some English on that shit. It's amazing. We're not joking, folks. We are not joking. By the way, another universal language, because the Palestinians had chancletas too and used them really fucking well. And if you don't believe me, you know what I'm talking about.
I don't know. I was wondering where you go with this.
And when we were growing up, the Palestinian women had chancletas.
Oh, they still, yes, they did.
Fucking they really did. Well, like, whap! Holy shit.
They did. Sama, and who was the other kid? That was like
Someone would take a hit for the team every once in a while.
Yes. Sharif, I used to play handball with him all the time.
Sharif had the biggest head on a child I've ever seen.
What happened to those people? They were
nice people. David keeps in touch with those guys.
Does he really?
Yeah, he's like, yo, I got a story, and then he told me a story about Sharif. Sharif fell in love with a Puerto Rican girl.
Is this true? What you say? And what is surprising?
I've heard things. I'm hearing things. Sharif fell in love with a Puerto Rican girl or Dominican girl, and his parents disowned him because they weren't like, you can't keep them on the farm once they see the big city, man. Once they see Paris, you can't keep them on the farm.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, talk to David. He'll tell you some stories
about this. Interesting.
So we're going down to the wire
here. We're all connected.
I think they decided against, shutting things down.
But what we have found out in this episode is Danger Zone is the song of the week. We're going to check out In the Heights this weekend and break it down. We'll have an exclusive with Lin-Manuel Miranda, maybe.
if Lin-Manuel Miranda wants to come down here, and talk to me about In the Heights and fucking that other thing he did, Lin-Manuel, by the way, hold on a second. Everybody stop talking. Wait. Lin-Manuel worked on Moana, right?
Yes, Moana.
He did the song Shiny, which is one of my favorite Disney songs in the last
it's a great
10
song.
years. Huh?
Right.
It's a good song.
It's a great
great song, done by the guy from that movie with the thing. He was the voice.
It was the crab.
Darkness. What's his name? He's in a lot of movies. He was in. I'm sorry, I'm doing this to you folks. I know this. Fucking hate this thing.
My kid was afraid of that in the beginning because it's kind of like dark, and then he starts
the crab.
Remember? Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Moana. It was a good cartoon. Very
Jermaine Clement, who's awesome. But Shiny is just a great song, and him and the monster that he plays is so good. It's such a great such a great song. I might have to. And David Bowie was actually going to be the guy who sang it, but he was too sick to sing it, unfortunately. But
really? That's true.
Out there in YouTube land, there is a version with David Bowie singing it, which is fantastic because he's so Bowie in it.
Right.
Bowie did some things with music that were just fantastic, but David Bowie in general singing anything is fantastic. So if you get a chance, check it out. I'm not going to play it here because they'll sue me.
Let's dance.
They will sue me. Maybe that's the song. Maybe that's the song of the week. Shiny.
Yeah, Shiny. People vote Shiny or Danger Zone.
Vote Shiny or Danger Zone.
We kicked J-Lo to the side. We don't want to hear that one. It's either Shiny or Danger Zone.
Say hello to you, man. All right. So we did politics, we did baseball, we did some movie stuff. I'm upset that you haven't seen Ted Lasso yet. What the hell's going on?
I will. Once my wall gets fixed, I'm going to do it.
It's 8 episodes, folks. 45 minutes each. It's great. What?
The thing collapsed. Kids are crying. Babies are screaming. It's out of control.
Dogs and cats living together. I'm surprised that I didn't see on that thing anything about the Ghostbuster movie. Right?
That's right. I think they pushed that back, no?
Isn't that it might be a Christmas thing. But Free Guy's coming out in August. So that's going to be awesome. Free Guy and Don't Breathe 2. I didn't even see the first one.
Ghostbusters Afterlife, right? Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. When does that happen?
Let's see.
Paw Patrol the movie. You know I'm not going to see that one. Oh, Candyman at the end of the summer.
Wait, it says Thursday, November 11th. November 11th. There's a lot of movies coming on Thanksgiving. Like, they push back these movies to kind of have a huge holiday release.
Well, I mean, they pushed back Bond to Thanksgiving. They should fucking open it in July. Bond will kill in July. What do they have to go up against? Like, Black Widow? Who gives a fuck? Put it out right after Black Widow. Black Widow and Jungle Cruise. Put it out. Shit,
I guess the studios are looking at it like in November, like everyone in theory would be vaccinated. Things would be a lot more open, so they won't be afraid. You know, they could just release it and make $100 million and move
First
on.
of all, kind of the rest of the world is done. Everybody, like China especially, everybody's fine.
Yeah.
We're the only people that are being stupid, besides India.
Well, Japan is.
Oh my God, India!
They don't want to have the Olympics.
Oh my God. Well, they're right. Japan is right. They're right to do it. And India, oh my God, India. Oh my God. So American deaths. Worldwide deaths are 3.5 million. That was in like last month. But India is making it 4 million. Like,
it's crazy. It is crazy.
And when people say, 4 million people died, it's like, hold up. Those are the people that died. We're not talking about all the other people that were radically affected by this that didn't die. So double that number to those people who have life expectancy has just dropped 10 years. Then triple it for the people who just got sick and just got sick and were sick badly and still were affected by it. Then make sure to add the number of kids that were affected by coronavirus. We can keep going. And the lives of the people that have been affected by the deaths of those people. Yeah. So shut up. It's not like it's no big deal. Just because you weren't affected by it doesn't mean that it wasn't something that affected people. Just stop. Just fucking stop. It makes me nuts.
I know.
I take a breath.
And those people could have been asymptomatic and pass it on to somebody else without even knowing. And I'm just saying, like, it's a whole cycle that we're not.
Stop acting like it's no big deal. It's a big deal. And again, depending on, again, I'm glad that Biden's president and we're getting this. I know that people are like, but Trump started it. Yeah, but we're talking about the organization of getting this shit out the door to people. Biden found a way not to fuck it up. Trump was already fucking it up in December. So in November when they had those first things. So shut up. I kind of feel like if it was Biden, it would have been if Biden was president, it would have been a completely different rollout. I think a lot more people would be vaccinated by now. But because, Trump making it into a political thing, because that's what all the Republicans have, is to make everything into a social fight. That's it. Mass, you're un-American if you wear a mask. I will fight you in the street, for God's sakes.
Danger zone.
Just like being stupid. I don't want to wear a mask. Then stand over there, 6 feet, buddy. I said this once. I was online. And this person wouldn't want to wear a mask. I'm like, I'm outside, 6 feet. 6 feet, please, 6 feet. And I did it in Spanish. I was, señora, por favor. Por favor, 6 pies. Por favor. You put your hands up. You're like, please. I got a mask on. I don't know what the fuck you're carrying. Get out of here.
What she's carrying.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
Get the fuck out of here.
Right.
So, yeah. What else we got? Nothing else?
I think that's it. We got the song of the week. We hit some topics.
The split. It's a tie. Song of the week.
Shiny and Danger Zone.
Shiny Danger Zone. That's a new one.
That's a good song.
We got the basketball. That basketball movie's coming out this summer too.
Oh,
Space Jam Revolutions or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Space Jam Pants.
The first one wasn't bad. I liked Space Jam. First one. I don't know how they're gonna mess it up this time, but it was good the first one.
All right. So 7 people watching the June 8th one. Very excited. No comments. No likes.
People are watching.
Fucking likes, man. I love it though. The one our biggest, believe it or not, our biggest show, 30 and this I'm looking at this stuff because it's funny. Our biggest show so far with 30 people seeing it is from March 30th. What happened on March 30th? It's the March 17th show that premiered on March 30th.
Interesting. What was going on?
That show got the most looks and 2 likes, so didn't win the likes. 30th. The like war was the show from February 21st that got 4 likes with 20 people watching it.
Back in the day.
Yeah, and that's, by the way, that was a split because we had 2 different versions of that show. That show was from 2016, premiered on February 21st. 31 people watched it.
So we're getting traction
33.
little by little, folks. Little by little, things are moving in the right direction. We're going up the hill little by little.
Going up that road, going up that hill. The one with Justin Gray, which I thought was one of our best shows. 21 people have watched it. That was the May 4th show. Guys, if you haven't seen, some of these shows are actually really fun. I'm not lying. The Justin Gray show is hilarious.
It really is.
I put that on recently, and I was just crying the whole time.
Yeah,
he's an interesting guy with an interesting point of view. Doesn't want to talk about anybody. Follow Justin Gray on Facebook. He's fun as fuck.
He makes the greatest tacos.
He makes the best tacos because he worked for the taco man. Fun stuff.
Shout out to Justin Gray.
Shout out to Justin Gray. Check out his Kickstarter. He has books out there, folks.
Danger Zone.
Danger Zone. Finger guns. One more thing. I think tomorrow is Loki Day. Loki premieres.
That's right.
On Disney Plus. I've been watching a show called Sweet Tooth, which you haven't seen it. You should see it. It's really good. It's about animal-human hybrids. I mean, come on. Not anywhere connected to Ancient Aliens, but you should check it out.
Loki comes out on a Wednesday?
Show. Gonna watch another episode of it tonight.
Loki comes out on a Wednesday.
Having a watch
party. Is it come out every Wednesday?
What?
Is Loki coming out every Wednesday?
No, yeah, every Wednesday.
Tomorrow.
They singular out. So yeah, so tomorrow's the first episode.
Why not Friday?
45 minutes.
Fridays.
And then I might not watch it immediately. No.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably see it on Friday because that's usually when I have more time.
Yeah, I might not watch it, but I might not watch it like the first. I might wait until the second episode. I don't know.
I like doing that in general because I like watching shows. Like I don't like starting shows and then have to wait a year to watch a whole nother season. You know what I'm trying to say? Not in this range. I kind of, if the show survives season 2, then it's a good show. You know what I'm trying to say? And that's when I jump on it so I can watch 1 and 2 together. That's what I like.
But the fact is, the reason why people were watching things the way they were doing it was because there ain't nothing happening.
Yeah, I agree.
So, I agree. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Falcon and Winter Soldier and the other show that they were doing. I don't know. I don't know if it made me feel good, bad, or indifferent, but I kind of happy they did that. I guess.
Yeah.
A little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me, but it felt good. No, I mean I'm serious.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's the sensitive side of he's coming out now. He's tearing.
All right, folks. Wrapping it up.
Always a pleasure.
Any last minute things? Loki, Sugarfoot,
in the Heights.
Sweet Tooth, in the Heights. Oh, big week. Loki,
big week.
Sugarfoot. Sweet Tooth, Sugarface. In the Heights on Friday this weekend. There's a trailer out there for something I wanted to see. What was it? Trailer for something. Some trailer.
Not Mission Impossible. They shut it down.
Yeah, there was a new Bond trailer that used the music from Mission Impossible, which made me go, "What a dumb! Who did this? That's stupid." Check it out. It's the newest Bond trailer. It's the last Bond trailer, and it has the Mission Impossible music in it. And you're like, "What the fuck's going on?" Yes, exactly. What are you doing? X-Nay. Fire that guy. There's no branding. Get him out of here. Unless they want to do that like split, like, whoa, Mission Impossible. Yeah. It's like Bond is Bond, Mission Impossible something else.
They're going to bring both worlds together. You're telling me they can't create
But
together?
I have to say, of the last few Mission Impossible movies have been very, very good.
Yeah.
Very good action films. If you like action films, they're good action films. And no
one
runs like Tom
breaking
Cruise.
breaking his ribs. Yeah, it's good times.
He did, yeah. And nobody runs like Tom Cruise, man. He's all up here. You know what I'm saying?
I'll still take what was this guy's name from Terminator 2 when he used to run like this?
Oh, T2, yeah.
T2.
It's almost time. Almost time to unwrap that sucker again. That's a great movie.
Yes.
Terminator 2 is like one of my favorite action movies of all time. Because there's one particular line that Arnold Schwarzenegger says that I love saying all the time. It's this. I want your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
On that note.
Peace. Hasta la vista, baby.
It's not a tumor.
Conan, what is best in life? What is it? To rout your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of their women. He's like, he has his, you don't see his face. He's like all under this, like it's all arms and head, the top of his head. That's from Conan from 1979. No, 1981. 1981.
Barbarian. Not to be
whatever it is. It's on TNT. It's probably on TNT right now or TBS. One of them. All right.
Along with the Red Sonja, they always put them together.
Oh, remember we said that the whole thing about Warner Brothers. I'm sorry, I'm giving you these last minute pieces of news, but you know it's when it hits me. Warner Brothers and the Discovery thing and having a thing. Someone wrote an article last week that says that Apple was mulling buying somebody, and they're thinking that it probably is either Sony or Warner Brothers Discovery. Like we said, they have a lot of fucking money. So if Apple buys Sony, not the Sony like company itself, but the
media like Spider-Man and all that type of stuff, right?
Which Sony probably doesn't want to lose because they don't fucking sell. They sell TVs still. What do they fucking do? Apple buying Sony would change Sony's name. It would just be Apple, and they would just, you know,
or Sapple
selling,
if you want to combine it.
Fucking Apple TVs, you know,
right?
Which will cost $1,000 because nothing that Apple sells is under $500.
Yeah, I know.
Unless you buy it used.
It's true. It's crazy,
but it's a superior product. I'll say that. But I mean, that's their thing. It's like I have a feeling that they're looking to create to build on content. Somebody wrote an article about that. I thought it was very interesting. But
it makes sense.
What would be the best thing for them to buy? Would it be Warner Brothers?
Yeah.
Or would it be, you know,
or Sony? both?
¿Por qué no los dos?
¿Por qué? ¿Por qué no?
Los dos. That little girl's the cutest. Taco commercials. All right. It's your friend signing off. Don't send letters. We don't care.
Zone.
Danger Zone. Shiny. Pick one, folks.
And let us know.
Hasta next week. Hopefully, I'll put this up before the end of this week because we're going to have something up. But there's already stuff out there. Check out the stuff we put out last week. This is all good stuff, folks.
Good content, people. Family-friendly content.
No, it's not family-friendly. But it is funny. At least I think so. I crack up when I watch it. All right.
We laugh.
Sweet tooth. Later, guys.
Take it easy.
Bye. Bye. Bye.